Evil Dead the game released yesterday, Friday, May 13th, and can briefly be described as a 4v1 asymmetrical horror action game. Now I know that may sound familiar, but Evil Dead is as far from Dead by Daylight as a 4v1 can possibly be. Most other 4v1 asymmetrical horror games try and follow the Dead by Daylight formula while doing the bare minimum to put their own spin on it. After Friday the 13th, many other companies tried to compete with Dead by Daylight. You had Predator Hunting Grounds, you had Last Year, you had Home Sweet Home Survive, you had a lot, but none of them were able to even touch Dead by Daylight, despite what many people said. And now we have Evil Dead the game. Now this is a game that I kinda had my eyes on passively, mainly just because it seemed very ambitious and I was somewhat curious to see how it would pan out. So how does Evil Dead fare against Dead by Daylight? Well, like I said, I purchased it yesterday and I've been playing it for about maybe a day now. There are certain things that Evil Dead does better than Dead by Daylight, but to really compare them is actually quite difficult. They are both very different games. This development team knows what they're doing, and they are trying to not only pay homage to the classic movies, but also make a good game on its own. What I wanted to do is oh my god, dude. And the first thing that I think that Evil Dead does better than Dead by Daylight is the fact that Evil Dead has a lot of replay value. I mean, a lot. The worst things possible could happen to you and you'd still end up having fun. My first match as a demon, I got absolutely rolled because I had no idea what I was doing. Yet just the pure charm of the game kept me hooked and kept me wanting to learn and try again. And eventually my second time around I did win as a demon, and it was a tough battle, but it was very satisfying. And it's even better on the survivor side. The survivors have to fight multiple demons, get into the thick of battle, apply buffs, use weapons, firearms. Just the fact that you can have a demon hold his own against 4 survivors wailing on him to have a really, really tight, epic battle is so good. Not to mention there's a ton of other things that demons can do that are so Evil Dead. Demons can possess cars to try and run over survivors. They can possess trees to try and scare survivors. You can literally jump scare survivors that build their fear meter, which in itself is a very important mechanic because the demon can possess survivors and have them attack each other. It's honestly the most fun I've had in a game in such a long time. I had a game where it was just me and 2 other people because my 4th teammate disconnected, and we got all the way to the ending. We were just going at it, and it's not because the demon player was bad, it's just because it's a tight struggle. I think both sides are balanced in a way where one doesn't particularly have the advantage. Both teams have things that hold them back from being stupidly overpowered. Survivors have to constantly run around this ginormous map in an attempt to find loot, weapons, ammo, health, shields, all the while demons have to run around the map to collect these orbs, which build their energy, and without energy they are useless. They cannot do anything. So while survivors are busy looting up and getting ready for the next fight, demons are busy running around the map, building up energy, leveling up, setting traps. And it's so satisfying as a demon to watch 4 survivors just run into every single trap you place and engage in another big epic battle. If I could describe this game in one word, it would just be epic. This game is so much more fast-paced than Dead by Daylight, despite it taking place in a gigantic map over the span of 30 minutes. You'd think it would be even more slow-paced than Dead by Daylight, but it's not. The reason why fast-paced doesn't work in Dead by Daylight is because the only time Dead by Daylight is ever fast-paced is if one side is completely dominating the other. There's no reason for a match in Dead by Daylight to be fast-paced and balanced at the same time. As a survivor who's constantly being chased, yes, the game may seem fast-paced to you, but what about your other 3 survivors that are walking around the map, sitting at a gen, and pressing one button. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to conduct an experiment. I'm going to show you various clips of Evil Dead compared to clips from Dead by Daylight. And you tell me, in your honest opinion, which one looks more enjoyable to you. In all seriousness though, there is a reason that Dead by Daylight has been going on for 6 years now, and it's simply because Dead by Daylight has a lot of variety. In total, including both survivors and killers, there is a total of over 50 characters in that game, each with 3 unique teachable perks, and there's a ton of stuff to take into consideration when you're going into Dead by Daylight. I think overall Dead by Daylight is a better horror game. There's not a whole lot about Evil Dead that's scary other than the really crappy PNG jump scares that the demon can do to you. And while I said earlier that the gameplay loop is extremely repetitive, just running around and repairing generators and just holding down a button for a minute straight, those moments in between where you get chased and you can run a killer around is extremely blood pumping and extremely exhilarating, especially when there's so much on the line. Dead by Daylight has shown no signs of stopping, and I don't really think it ever will. The day Dead by Daylight dies is gonna be a sad day for the 4v1 horror genre, because now we're going to be getting a lot of kind of lacking games being released. For what it is, Evil Dead is extreme dumb fun. It's really chaotic, it's really fast paced, there's a lot to take into consideration. Both sides are equally as fun and rewarding. I don't know what Dead by Daylight does, but it always seems to drag me back in despite how much I claim to hate it and how much I complain about it, and that kind of goes for everyone in the community. Everyone in the community always has a problem with the game, yet they still play it day in, day out. They live and breathe Dead by Daylight, and that's just the effect it has. I really can't explain why. I think overall the game is still very fun, even after these 6 years. The gameplay can get repetitive, but it's always the things in between, and really the players that make the game still fresh, and that's why we play it so much. Do I think Evil Dead will dethrone Dead by Daylight in the 4v1 genre? No, I don't think it will come close. It's a good attempt though, and it's still a welcome addition to the genre. It has its things going for them, but like I said, to compare this with a game like Dead by Daylight that is just so far out there and so different, it's really hard. And I really just made this video as an excuse to talk about Evil Dead because I'm going to be playing it. And I'm waiting for the 6th anniversary to drop on Dead by Daylight, so I figured that this will be a good distraction from my masochism.